All right, guys, just finished up this 2025 GMC AT4 1500. This one came to us out of South Carolina. Came in with a pre-installed radio lift 1 3/4 leveling kit. It's already had these wheels and tires, which do look awesome. But the customer wasn't happy with how it rode. The kit in general wanted something nicer. Stayed with the same wheels and tires. We went with the BDS 2.5 Elite kit. So it's going to be a full coilover conversion in the front, and then the Elite 2.5 series shocks in the rear. You're going to have high speed and low speed adjustments front and rear. It's going to ride a lot better, give you a lot more tire clearance. And these are the Vossen HF6, I believe it is, with the 20 by 9.5, 295 CC20 Toyo RT Pros. You see it does come with your BDS control arms. You got your full coilover. The coilover does have to be adjusted up, typically about 5/8 of an inch, sometimes a little more if you've got the diesel. We've even had a few that were not the diesel and still had to be adjusted slightly. As far as clearancing goes, the previous shop had already installed the rough country mud-flap delete, but they had cut it all through here, and so it only had one bolt holding on. They'd cut all his liner through here. So we replaced the whole liner, redid the mud-flap delete, just replaced it entirely, cleaned it up. On the front, all we had to do was just clearance just a little bit on the bottom edge of the liner, and then same thing on the bottom edge of the bumper. But you can see from this angle how the mud-flap delete gives you a lot more clearance there, the way it kicks in. So some guys ask us about, there's some mud-flap deletes that just come straight across here, just like factory. And they do give you more clearance because you don't have to flap there, but not nearly as much as this, because this gives it somewhere for the tire to turn into. And of course you got your high speed and low speed adjustments up here. I also did the amp power steps. Just overall a really good looking truck. I love how you can see the resis in the front and rear fender on this setup. You see it there because they mount outboard. A little unique on the 1500s. Can be a pain to install because you have to bolt the bed to slide the reservoir between the bed and the frame rail, but definitely worth it. Gives it a really cool look. Also makes it much more accessible to make your adjustments if you want to do that. Truck sits pretty much dead level. Typically when we do these, since the frame has a full wax coating back here, we clean the wax off and then just paint it all black. It just looks nicer. And of course you got your high speed and low speed adjustments right here, which is what I was saying. You don't have to get out of the truck to make adjustments. Reach in the front and rear fender, adjust it how you like, and move along. Of course, you got your 2.5 shocks here. This kit changes the I can get in here a little better. All right, there we go. So you get your 2.5 Elite shock. Sometimes these come with an additional sticker on the body of the shock, the orange Elite sticker, which looks really nice, not just being on the reservoir, but sometimes they don't, and there's no real rhyme or reason why. This truck comes factory with a 2-inch block. This kit comes with a 3-inch block, so it nets a 1 inch of additional lift in the rear. And of course you got your bolt stop brackets up there. and a couple brake line relocation brackets on the differential, so that you got plenty of extension or plenty of slack in your lines for full extension or droop. Show you a little more of the kit. Of course, we've got really good tie rod CV axle angles. All your ball joints are in a neutral position. Of course, you got your 3-piece BDS skid plate design. On this one, they actually sent us the wrong BDS logo. We had to overnight that, so that caused a little bit of a delay, but finally got the correct one in. And you may or may not have noticed in some of our other videos, but just to clarify, the diesel and the 4-cylinder turbo trucks get this small skid plate with the BDS logo, like a billet logo that rivets on. The 5.3 and 6.2 trucks get the full skid plate that actually runs up and connects to the factory location up here, and has it laser engraved BDS with no logo that attaches to it. I think last time I looked, even on BDS's website, they showed the same skid plate for both versions on the 25 and 26s. Unless they've changed it by now, but that's not accurate. Just that's why I wanted to clarify that. The 25 and 26s, the only difference is the rear U-bolts. GM decided they were not going to do square U-bolts anymore. They want to do round U-bolts now. And so they changed that. And so now the 25 and 26, they have their own part number. And the only difference is the U-bolts. Really good looking truck. I'm a big fan of the Vossen wheels. We don't do a ton of them, but it seems like every one we do with the Vossen wheels looks really nice. All right, guys. So me on this one. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, stay tuned for more.